Hello, viewers. This is Winch here. Apologize for the lack of content lately. Been busy with work, and been kind of amused. The other YouTubers out there I watch. Why is everybody talking about Second Assault right now? Is anybody else wondering that, or is it just me? It's like Battlefield 4 has been out for just several weeks, and we're already talking about DLCs and weapons. I'm like, can we cover the game at hand right now, guys? That's where I want to get to now, guys. Talking about Battlefield 4 right now. I think there's a lot of stuff we haven't talked about, a lot of stuff I haven't seen personally, and there's a lot of stuff I'm still figuring out myself on the fly, and that's what I want to discuss with you, and I want to present to you what you should be focusing on right now and learning this game before you just start talking about new guns and DLC weapons and new maps coming. I mean, I'm excited about that myself, but I mean, I have a lot to take in right now in Battlefield 4. But I want to show you this loadout. And it's not just with support class, this is universal across all classes, but I want to hit home the importance of this FLIR sight that you're seeing here. It's a 2x zoom scope, not to be confused with the infrared scope. Night and day difference between the two, no pun intended. This is the FLIR sight. This is the one that basically shows heat as white. Anything that's white is heat. So flesh, for example, is white, as opposed to, I think the FLIR sight's green. Anyways, the FLIR sight I just don't care for. Excuse me, the infrared sight I don't care for. The FLIR sight is the one I like because it has a slight magnification to it, a 2x zoom scope magnification. And I find this scope giving me a huge tactical advantage in dark lit areas, operation locker room, where I'm inside the corridor looking outside at those flanking routes. And also I'll show you some gameplay, and I apologize for the lack of sound on it, what was it called? Zomphodon 311 or Zaf, what the hell it is. But in addition to the scope, I want to talk about the value of the suppressor in Battlefield 4. These are two attachments that obviously have made their return, with the exception of the FLIR sight was not in Battlefield 3. But in Battlefield 4, this combination is deadly, and this is why we put suppressors on kits, because when you flank behind the team and you start firing and they don't know you're firing, the tactical advantage there is many-fold. It's very valuable. Now, I don't know if you just noticed right there, that is a downfall to the scope. I apologize. I should have stopped this here for a moment. This is a weakness of this scope. Anything that's like a incendiary grenade or basically some kind of flash, white, anything like that will hamper your vision with this scope. So you have to bear that in mind, that is a weakness of this attachment. So try to stay away from those incendiary grenades. Bear that in mind. Anything bright, hot, white flashing in your face will limit your visibility in this scope, so you want to take cover at those times and basically shoot from the hip, if you will, or just allow those things to dissipate. But here's what I'm talking about. Inside looking out, they can't see in because they're in a lit area looking in a dark area. They have no clue I'm there. In addition to the suppressor, they have no clue I'm firing at them. So their disadvantage there is twofold. They don't hear me, they don't see me, therefore they die very quickly. And that's not just on this map. I mean, that's a great example here at Operation Locker Room. You'll really see it in the field there, out in the natural environments on the next map I'll show you as well. This loadout, again, regardless of what weapon you use it on, is deadly. And I've really found, more than anything right now in Battlefield 4, is I'm just trying to get a feel for the game, and I think it's really too soon. Like I say, I'm really critical of everybody moving on to real specific weapon reviews and stuff. Right now, what I'm finding more than anything, guys, and what's really improving my gameplay right now, is stealth. And it seems like the suppressor in Battlefield 4 is not nearly as nerfed as it was in Battlefield 3, if you will. I don't know if you're calling Battlefield 3, you just put down a lot of guns. It just seemed like your damage really dropped off bad. It really was a negative consequence. And a lot of times people just ran with the heavy barrel, because the heavy barrel in Battlefield 3 was much more of a viable option over the suppressor in a lot of scenarios. Now in Battlefield 4, it seems like the heavy barrel to me is absolutely useless. I mean, why do you want to double your vertical recoil on a weapon if it doesn't give you any kind of damage buff, or I shouldn't say damage buff, but it doesn't reduce your damage drop off? In a sense, the heavy barrel in Battlefield 4, all it does is improve your accuracy, which, I mean, do you really even notice that when you can't hit anything because your vertical recoil is so high up? So in Battlefield 4, no longer do we have it increasing your damage over range. It's hard for me to explain that, but the heavy barrel doesn't increase your damage. It didn't in Battlefield 3. It doesn't in Battlefield 4. But the difference is in Battlefield 4 is that there is no advantage of having the heavy barrel because your weapon over range doesn't change. You see what I'm saying here? So it has no effect on your damage over range is what I'm saying. So all it does in Battlefield 4 is affect your accuracy. So why really do anything with the heavy barrel when you can put suppressor on? You can still drop guys at range with it because I'm not really seeing any huge degradation in my damage model with the suppressor. I mean, sure, there's some bullet velocity issues, some bullet drop you have to count for over long range, but all in all, the suppressor at long range is absolutely deadly, and nobody has a clue that you're shooting at them. And this is PC gameplay here. I'm moving into a PS4, by the way, guys, and look for that footage very soon on my channel. I just purchased a splitter so I can decrypt the DCHP encryption that's still there for some reason. It's a long story, but they're eventually going to get that removed at some point so people can record their gameplay. But it's going to be next year sometime, so I'm not going to wait for that. But I'm having a lot of success with PlayStation 4. I'm having a lot of fun, with the exception of issues with the servers and some other stuff. But I'll talk about that in another video, but just look for that to come. Now, this is Guerilla Warfare right here, guys. Right here, out here in the open, I'm behind enemy lines. I've got one guy here at my back, and him and I are doing work back here. We're sabotaging the enemy. We're taking out vehicles when we can. We're just being a thorn in the enemy side, and finally we draw attention to them because you kill enough guys and people start getting riled up, and they'll eventually come looking for you, so they'll eventually track us down here. But again, what I'm trying to emphasize here is survivability. This combination, this stealth combination, not only does it allow me to see enemies in this thick vegetation forest area. I mean, these guys can't pick me up visually. There's no way they can pick me up. But having this scope right there, I saw those guys. I saw the heat emitting from their bodies. And over range, I mean, it gives you huge tactical advantage. You just cannot replicate this loadout with any other scope. If you have like an ACOG zoom scope or a red dot sight, you're just not going to have near the ability to amplify your effectiveness on the battlefield compared to this loadout. I mean, these guys just don't stand a chance. They don't know what's hitting them. I find myself when I'm playing with this loadout just grinning ear to ear, having so much fun, and just not to brag, but being MVP almost every match I'm doing with this loadout. And I just see an immediate effect. Like a lot of times I'll be running a weapon that's not suppressed, your standard red dot scope, and I switch to this loadout, and it's like instant change. I'm immediately getting more kills than I was before. My score's increasing twofold, threefold, and it's just like a complete personal tide changer for myself. Now right here, moving up, and these clips wrapping up here, you're probably wondering why I'm shooting my airburst at a tank. Well, sometimes I'm trying to draw attention. I was trying to get this tank's attention because we were attacking this site with the bomb. A lot of times you start shooting an airburst at a tank, it just ticks them off. And it's kind of a newbie response, if you will, that they redirect their attention towards me as opposed to higher threat targets. I was trying to solicit that from this tank driver, but he was a little smarter than most guys, and he wasn't falling for it. But nonetheless, I was trying to make the attempt there to see if he'd take the bait. But again, behind enemy lines here, I mean, guys could spawn anywhere behind me. I got tanks or vehicles that could come up rolling up on me. So again, being aware of your surroundings, know when to lay low, when to take cover, essential to your survival, especially when you're trying to implement tactics like this in guerrilla warfare. Absolutely vital to reduce your vertical signature, taking advantage of the growth around you, of your personal camouflage to blend in with your surroundings. Those tactics will increase your survivability more than anything else in this game. Now, a lot of times you'll see situations like this with helicopters right above you. This is a good time to take advantage of a tree cover because under these circumstances, all it takes is that chopper pilot to see you for a moment, and they can take you out with that 25mm cannon in no time. And this guy looks like he's a pretty fancy pilot here with his souped up camo there, so I'm trying to give him a wide berth. Take him down with the airburst strike there. Again, he didn't see that one coming. I didn't go run out in the middle of the road to shoot him down. I tried to lay low. I observed his movement. I took advantage when the moment presented itself, and then I eliminated that threat when the time was opportune. Again, progressing through this moment here, moving from one engagement to the next. That's what this is all about. This is how you become a real formidable threat here. And at the end of this match, I was really ramping up and causing a lot of damage here. My teammate here moving up for the knife kill. How am I going to support him in this circumstance? Well, I'm not going to shoot the guy he's trying to knife, obviously, but many people do that for some reason. Help the guy out. Shoot the guy next to him. Spot the guy in front of him. That's what I do. Suppress that target. anything I can do. While I'm doing all that, watch your mini-map. There's a guy behind me. This engineer's looking for my butt squad mate there. I put him down, save my squad mate, throw out ammo, rinse, repeat. These are the things that you have to do. Again, here, you got to watch these parachuting situations here. I mean, the parachute respawn, any guy, and they're doing this all map, we're just parachuting right on top of us. It's just like an endless rain of enemy troops. So if you fire one round that's not suppressed, next thing you know, you got 5, 6 guys parachuting on your head because you see you light up on the mini map. That's just so common on PC gameplay and next gen console. There's just so many players out there, so many threats. So reducing that threat is just absolutely vital. You don't want to put a big flashing red sign on you. To me, unsuppressed weapons do that all the time, and it's really frustrating to me anytime I don't have a unsuppressed weapon to have that attention drawn to you. It really inhibits your progression. It's really hard to get momentum going. You kill one guy, then you die. You kill one guy, then you die. I see it day in and day out every game I play, regardless if it's on PC or PlayStation 4. Shooting unsuppressed weapons and not seeing your enemy, not being aware of your surroundings, instant death in this game every time. It's not like it used to be if you're coming from old gen console to new gen console. You really got to be aware of these higher player count maps and tickets, all that stuff. There's just so many more threats out there on the battlefield. But here you can see me rolling up on the team. Lots of targets out there. I mean, this is what's great about Obliteration. I'm just having a lot of fun playing it on all the platforms right now. I mean, look at these guys parachuting in. The intensity of the action here is just incredible. Dropping the bomb carrier, do that all the time. I mean, again, here as this clip is wrapping up here, you really see me kind of a culmination of all the topics I was talking about, all the strategies I was doing, all come into one here. As I start being aware of us getting overrun by enemies, I'm going to start taking cover, using advantage of these darker lit areas, my camouflage, laying low, using my stealth to my advantage to create an offensive opportunity for myself to progress the match. Again, we end up winning this match. It's a lot of fun here. Keep these topics in mind. Strongly encourage you guys to try out the suppressor on any gun that you use and try this FLIR sight. I guarantee you, particularly maps like this, dark lit maps, highly vegetated maps, laying low, utilizing this guerrilla warfare type mentality will greatly increase your effectiveness on the battlefield. Please like and subscribe to the video, guys. I will have PlayStation 4 gameplay in my next upload. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support. I'll have more Battlefield 4 content to come.